There's a growing narrative right now that AI is making entire professions redundant. Consulting is often named first. You've probably seen the headlines. AI can do the analysis faster, it can synthesize more data, it can generate recommendations at scale. So the conclusion many leaders quietly reach is this: if AI can do the work, then the work must not have been that valuable to begin with. But that's a misread of the signal. This moment is not about AI replacing expertise. It's about AI exposing a judgment gap that's been present far much longer than anyone wants to admit. Before we go further, we need to align language. Because when organizations talk about expertise, they usually mean a few things, such as information synthesis, pattern recognition, frameworks, benchmarks, and comparisons. And that kind of expertise is extremely valuable, and it's exactly what AI does very well. Judgment, however, is something different. Judgment is contextual discernment, trade off navigation, deciding what matters now, and choosing direction under uncertainty. So here's the key distinction between that: AI accelerates the expertise, it does not hold judgment, even though some people think it does. And that difference is what this moment is actually surfacing. If there is a judgment gap, a fair question is this: how did organizations operate for so long without noticing it? Because the gap was buffered. Now, for decades, many organizations benefited from slower decision cycles, clearer hierarchies, more stable markets, and fewer simultaneous variables, meaning that there are few things happening at the same time. There are still things going on, but not at the same time. And in that environment, judgment could be informal. Ambiguity resolved itself over time, and leaders could sense their way forward. They could feel it instead of actually really knowing, everything about the situation. Now, when complexity increased, organizations did adapt, but not by redesigning judgment. Instead, they added more analysis, more layers, and more external validation. The judgment did not disappear. It became diffused, it spread across committees, it was deferred to a process, or it was quietly outsourced. This is where external consultants became normalized, not because leaders lacked intelligence, of course not, but because consultants solved three very real organizational needs. First, cognitive offloading. Complexity outpaced internal sense making capacity. Second, political cover. External recommendations diffuse accountability for hard decisions. And third, narrative legitimacy. Quote unquote, this wasn't just our opinion, it was validated. You know that feeling like if they said it, it's okay. And over time, consulting shifted from episodic support to structural dependency. It became a line item, not because judgment was weak, but because internal judgment was never formally designed, protected, or owned. And that distinction right there matters. So AI didn't create the judgment gap. It removed the buffer instead. AI collapses time. It accelerates synthesis. It delivers answers faster than organizations can interpret them. So the bottleneck is no longer information, insight, or analysis. Instead, the bottleneck becomes its interpretation, its decision authority, is knowing who decides and on what basis, and when the answers arrive instantly. AI doesn't replace judgment. It exposes whether judgment was ever clearly held. So here's where the diagnosis sets in. Leaders look at AI and see efficiency: fewer people, faster outputs, cheaper thinking. And with all of that, efficiency feels like a strategy. But efficiency does not resolve competing priorities, unclear decision rights, or misaligned incentives. Faster answers don't reduce decision friction when the question itself is misframed. When judgment is unclear, speed amplifies confusion, not clarity. This is not an indictment on consultants. I work as a consultant at times. It's a distinction worth making, though. Consultants broadly are excellent at a lot of different things, but I'll just name a few. They're excellent at analysis, benchmarking, optimization, and structured recommendations. They are often brought in when organizations want to scale, do comparisons, or have external validation. Now, advisors function differently. and I operate in that role as well. Advisors hold context, navigate trade-offs, exercise judgment over time, and stay with decisions and their consequences. So the risk is not using consultants. The risk is outsourcing judgment instead of integrating it. When judgment lives nowhere clearly inside the organization, every tool feels either threatening or magical, including AI. And that's what a lot of organizations are experiencing right now. So in this context, the AI era isn't about automation. It's about changed leadership conditions. Decision cycles are compressed. Analysis is abundant and cheap. Answers arrive faster than organizations can interpret them. And the cost of misjudgment increases. Judgment can no longer hide behind slow feedback loops, and that's the shift that needs to occur. So the real question isn't, will AI replace consultants? The quieter, more important question is, where does judgment actually live inside this organization? Who holds it? How is it exercised? And what happens when expertise arrives instantly but direction does not? If that answer is unclear, no tool will stabilize performance. So AI isn't ending expertise. It's ending the illusion that information and judgment are the same thing. And for many organizations, that distinction is long overdue. Thanks so much for watching to the end. I would love to hear your thoughts and comments. What do you think about the judgment gap that AI is now exposing? Let me know down below, and I will see you in the next one. Until next time.